Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the David Trigg Show. I'm doing a few last-minute adjustments here on this beautiful day. Today is the 27th of December, and talking about 5 tips to your best year ever. Type a yes below if you want to have 2018 be your best year ever. But before that, as I said, let me do a few adjustments here on the technical side of things so that I can get everything just situated for you. In about just 2 minutes, we're going to be starting with this amazing episode that I think will definitely help many people start 2018 with a positive attitude, not giving in to all of the concerns of bills and family and problems and all the things that we all need. I want to say hello to my sister. Here we go. Look at that, sis. You are famous. And not only you, but anyone that watches this show live or maybe on the replay, you can leave a comment below. Just type a big yes if you want 2018 to be the best year ever for you. And then we can leave your comment there on the screen and you can be famous. That's awesome, huh? So in about a minute and a half or so, I'm going to be talking about these 5 tips. How are you? I have a couple of cameras here. Let's see if you can see the second one. Hello. This is my behind the scenes camera where you can also see a little bit of what's happening backstage. But I've had a great couple of days. It's been stressful, but also positive. And I've been reading the Bible. I've been thinking a lot about God. You know, one of the great things about being a pastor or being at a church ministry is that you are constantly reading the Bible. And I think the danger is that sometimes you can do it because you have to. But I think the positive part of it is that you are indeed in the scripture. So I like it when I'm doing it just because I want to do it for me, not to preach. And so I've been reading a lot of different Psalms every morning, especially Psalm 59. So you may want to check that out. But in about 45 seconds, I want to just invite you to come on board. And I'm going to just check a little bit of my feed here to make sure that everything is looking good here on Facebook Live. Normally, I go to Facebook. I also go on Periscope as well as on different places. But today, we'll just do good old Facebook so that we can keep everything organized. Talking about, as I said, 5 tips to your best year ever. I have a list of a few things that I think will really benefit you and will help you focus in 2018 so that you know what to do, how to do it, how not to get out of focus or make the same mistakes that maybe you did in 2017, or maybe just you want to just simply start fresh. And so thank you again for being here. So with that said, welcome to the David Trigg Show, the Trigg podcast of Joy and Gozo TV. My name is David Trigueros, David Trigg, whatever you want to call me. And I am a pastor. I'm also a media consultant helping you in 3 amazing things I call the ACL experience. Discover your God-given adventure, to find grace in your crisis, and to discover what you love. And so I'm here to help you every day, Monday through Friday, sometimes on the weekends as well, throughout the day, to stream and to come into your life to help you overcome your fears and to live a life of gozo. Gozo, by the way, obviously it means joy. And so we're constantly here talking about gozo. I have my gozo bell right there. Let me ring it once again. That reminds us anytime there is a gozo moment of how good God is and of all the great things that God is doing in all of our lives. So I wanted to start by giving you the 5 tips to a great year. So before I do that, though, let me tell you why and how this came about. So this week everyone is home. So our children are home. My wife is home. So it's a great week to be together. So we had lunch together, which obviously, we normally don't because we're all over the place. But today we had some nice healthy pasta. As you may know, our kids, and I'm also getting into it now, I must say, everybody's vegan here at our house, or plant-based. So everyone here eats cleanly. David is a total freak about it. Canela, oh my goodness, she was the first one. Isabella as well. Rochelle always eats clean, and I do as well, but this is a new level of eating clean. So we all had vegan pasta, and we had water and broccoli, and it was just a great lunch. That's probably why I feel so energetic. My gozo bell, man, no wonder I'm feeling good. It's amazing how when you eat healthy and you don't eat all that regular junk food or sugar or processed stuff, how you feel so much better. But So we were having lunch, and then because I do this all the time, I said, "Hey, everyone, give us your 5 tips to a better 2018." So we went around the table, and I'm telling you, amazing things came out, such as don't forget to wear deodorant. Can you say amen, right? Another one, of course, was fitness, healthy eating. Canela had some great ones. I think Isabella said something about being kind. And then we went around, and then we said, okay, now pick one of someone else's list that you think is for you. And so the one that I liked the most was to be active. That's the one that she brought up, is to be active. So I want to give you these 5 tips, and then I want you to pick one. Okay, so I want you to leave in the comments below which of these 5 is the one that's for you. Don't say all 5, because then it kind of defeats the purpose. Pick one that you think is really the one for you. So here we go. Number 1 is to live an adventure, to pursue a brand new adventure in 2018. Man, that is my favorite one. I find that many people, whether they're young or like my age in their 40s or older, they stop pursuing the adventures of life. They're afraid, they're too religious, they get bored. And yet inside of all of us, no matter who you are, there is an adventure that is ready to come out. A lot of people are afraid of adventure because if you're like me, people grow up with this fear of adventure. They think, oh, no, I don't want to ruin my life or go and buy this dress I can't afford. And I'm not talking about being irresponsible or reckless. So reckless and adventure are not the same thing. But think about it. What is your adventure? And don't think of the normal things, to help my kids. So for example, what's my adventure? I would love to go see a fight, like a professional fight in Vegas. That's just one little example. I would love to have so much of a financial freedom that I could go to Oregon any day. We have some family up there, and just simply take a jet up there, all 5 of us. I think my greatest adventure, of course, is to help people through these online tools. I would love to be able to be a very famous figure here, a public figure, so that more and more people can benefit from my tips. There are at least 3 or 4 of those things that are my adventure. These things that have always been in my heart. I remember clearly, maybe it's been now more than 5 years, telling a fellow pastor that I wanted to be on TV. And he was like, really? Yes. He's probably like, you don't look like a TV guy. I don't care what I look like, but I know what's in my heart. And now, even though this is not TV per se, meaning Facebook and all these things, I feel like I am living out my adventure. Another adventure that I have is to be a millionaire. And it's not about money, but it's about having the ability to produce wealth and give even more. We already give. I'm already generous with our finances and with the things that we have. I want to not just be a millionaire just for the sake of me, but so that I can prove to myself that I can accomplish anything. So I want to ask you, do you need to come up with a new adventure in your life? Number 2 is to overcome crisis. Overcome the crises in your life. You cannot live just in your adventure if you don't get real about your obstacles. And I'm talking about addictions, anxiety, fear, shame, loneliness, a lack of forgiveness. I'm not one of those life coaches that only talks about all of the things that you could accomplish. I am convinced, because this is all my own life history and my own path, is that you have to be someone who overcomes your obstacles. My whole life, I've been committed to overcoming all of the obstacles in my life. One of the things that I get a lot of compliments wise, is people say, wow, you have overcome so much. And I used to be offended by that. I used to think, well, am I that screwed up? You know what? Now I'm thinking that is awesome that I've overcome all those things, because it's true. That's how I've been able to accomplish all the great things that I've accomplished and all that I will do in the future. And the same thing for you. You have to get honest about your obstacles. And guess what? It's normally one big thing. For me, I have a hard time trusting God or trusting others. So trust. And when I don't trust, it turns into anxiety and into anger, into fear. So truly, my biggest hole in my heart is trust. And I'm working on that. And I've spent money with therapists and life coaches and tools and resources What is your one thing that is your crisis? Is it a lack of forgiveness? Is it that you are wounded because of something that happened, or a divorce or a loss of a parent? What is it that is your wound? And then most of all, it's not just about identifying it. What have you done? And if you can't think of anything that you've done besides complain, then you need to slap yourself on the face and say, what am I doing to overcome my crisis? Remember that the second tip is not just know your crisis. Duh. We all know our crises, right? It's overcoming your crises. You have to have a plan. You have to get honest, and you have to get on the right track to overcome that crisis. Otherwise, guess what? You will never, ever do number one, which is to live out your adventure. Number three, talking about 5 tips. If you're tuning in late, 5 tips to a great 2018 so you can have your best year ever. Number 3 is do what you love. Do what you love. Too many people settle for just what they see in front of them. They only see their obstacles. Well, I can't become that. I can't do what I wanted to do, write that book or start my own business because I'm too old, because I don't know how to do it, because my husband, because my mom, because my kids. People that lose at life are the ones that get stuck on their obstacles, that only think about the things in front of them. But people that win at life are the ones that do what they love. They pursue their dream. I've always wanted to be a musician. I'm a musician. I've recorded CDs. I've always wanted to be a speaker. I speak every Sunday. I've always wanted to have a beautiful family. My goodness, people always tell me what a beautiful family you have. I've always wanted to teach other people the things that I've learned. I teach online or everywhere I go daily the things that I know how to do. I've always wanted to have nice things. I have everything that I want. I've always pursued the things that I love. And it doesn't mean that it's been easy or that it's been without obstacles, but to this day, I am constantly pursuing what I love. I don't get distracted with what church tells me or what my mom tells me or even what God tells me. I'm talking about religiosity, the fears that religion sometimes puts on us, right? Of course, I honor God, and we'll get to that. But sometimes you have to know, why do you have these blocks? I have this friend who wants to be popular on Instagram, but she fears that her Christian friends will judge her if she tells people that. And instead, she just kind of puts things on there that aren't very her, that are really trying to just be like somebody else. Follow your heart. Do what you love. Yes, you have to know your boundaries. Yes, we assume that you love God and that you want to honor him with all your heart. I get that. If that's not you, then that is where you have to start. But assuming that you have a heart to serve and to love people and to honor God, do what you love. What do you love? Besides your kids, besides your house, besides all the usual stuff, what do you love? And maybe that could be even asked this way. Who do you love? Is there someone in your life that you want? Is there a man? Is there a woman? Assuming that you're single, okay? Assuming that you have the time and the space and you're at a place where you can pursue that relationship. Do you know someone that you love? I meet so many young people especially who are very shy to ask girls out. I mentor a lot of teens in their late teens and young 20s, and sometimes they don't know how to go about talking to girls or vice versa. Do what you love, pursue what you love. That's number 3. Number 4 is mentor others. Or another way to put this is teach everything you know. Teach everything that you know. There is no greater joy in life than to teach someone else what you know. Don't be selfish. Stop thinking that you don't have anything to teach. Stop thinking that you're burnt out, that you've done it for way too long. We're not talking about volunteering. We're not talking about helping at church with the kids or in the office. We're not talking about your job. We're talking about you mentoring somebody else, passing on the knowledge or the skills that you have so that other people can benefit and become greater than you and benefit all of your society, your neighborhood, your house, your family, your church, whatever it may be. As you know, I grew up with my grandma. My grandma was, and to this day, is my greatest example. She was my mentor. But it wasn't only what she taught me, but I would also learn just from what she was teaching other people. As you may know, you may or may not know this, she loved to sew. So she had a sewing machine, and she would be in her room sewing shirts and dresses and things for all of her grandkids. One day, she had 2 or 3 girls that came over to her room right here in our house, and she had them all in a circle, teaching them how to use a sewing machine. To this day, I remember her mentoring, teaching her skills to somebody else. It wasn't for show. It wasn't that these women became some amazing seamstress or models or whatever, but it was just simply her passing on her knowledge to somebody else. Why don't people mentor others? Oh, people say, well, nobody listens to me. Nobody cares. I don't have anything to teach. Or I tried it once and nobody listened, or they threw it back in my face. Keep trying. Keep teaching. Keep being generous with your time. The Bible clearly says that it's better to what? To give than to receive. We're not talking just money. We're talking teaching, passing on information, showing somebody else what you know, mentoring others. And then the last one, which I think is the foundation, is to love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and your neighbor as yourself. And I'm talking about your spiritual life. I'm talking about making sure that God is number one. I'm not talking about going to church. I'm not talking about reading your Bible. I'm talking about your heart. Is your heart for the things of this earth, for yourself basically, or is your heart for the things of God? Now, how do you know if your heart is for the things of God? It's simple. Are you someone that serves other people? Are you someone who loves your enemies? Are you someone who loves the poor? It's that simple. It's not about religion. It's not about going to church or reading your Bible. You can be the worst person that goes to church every Sunday, or you can be the worst person that never goes to church. It's about your heart. Who drives the wheel of your heart? Who has control over your mind? I have these friends. They're always fighting, and yet they're Christians. They're leaders in the church, and they're people that have whatever, some role in the church. This is a church years ago. Always fighting. And then I have some friends of mine that don't go to church that are always thinking of other people. Who is the most spiritually minded? The 2 people that are in the church yet fighting all the time, or the 2 people that never go to church and yet are always serving other people? Obviously, right? The second. Be like those people who serve other people. How do you know if you are a follower of Jesus? Is it because you go to church? It could be. Is it because you have a Bible? It might be. But the most important test, what the Bible teaches, is that if you love other people. I'm not talking about your family. Of course you're going to love your family. I mean, if you don't, then you have problems. I'm talking about your mom. That's easy. Of course you're going to love your mom and your kids. I'm talking about loving other people. Talking about someone at work, someone at school. And guess what? The Bible even says to love even those who hate you. When was the last time that you prayed for someone who did something wrong to you? Okay? It's that simple. The Bible isn't complicated. It's very simple. Being a Christian, being a follower of Jesus equals love. Not loving yourself. That's easy. Not saying, oh, I need, I want, I'm in need, poor me. That's normal. That's not being a Christian. That's just being a complainer. That's what that is, right? It's my Gosa bell. Okay, what following Jesus means is that you are thinking of others 80% of the time. 80% of the time. I'm telling you, try that just even the next hour. Think of other people for the next 20 minutes. You won't even last a second, because our nature is to think of me, all the things that I need. That's normal. That's called being a human. But to be divine, to be of God, to be of the Spirit, it means that you love other people, that you mentor other people, that your adventure is about helping people, that you love others, that you are overcoming your problems because you want to be a better person for other people, besides your kids and your family. That's normal. Again, I'm not saying that's not important, but don't get stuck with that. That is easy. That's what everybody lives for, their family and their kids and their parents. Okay, that's normal. That should be expected of you, that you're going to love your family, love yourself, love your kids. I'm talking about the rest of the world. I'm talking about everyone else, the people that you can't stand at work, the people that you teach, the people that you work with, those regular people that everyone just treats like trash. I'm talking about them, loving them. That's what it means to love God. Helping the poor, helping the homeless, helping people in your life. And forget the homeless. I'm talking about, meaning forget the extremes. I'm talking about loving people in your own family, or maybe extended family, that you don't get along with. That's huge. Forgiveness, love, putting God first. Now, let me say, if you haven't been to church in like 8 years, it might be time for you to get connected to God once again. You don't like the church you've been to, go to another one. You don't like their programs, and go find something else. You say, well, I'm burnt out on church. Well, if it's been more than a year that you've been in a community, guess what? You are okay now. Go back to church. Find a place where you can worship and connect with people. You don't like the one you've been to, go to another one. Stop complaining. Stop coming up with excuses that you don't have time, that you're so tired. Guess what? Everyone else is. And the statistics are that people that go to church are more loving, more kind, more patient, more full of peace. Not always, but if you want to be a better person, you need support. It's what everyone knows. You need support for your commitments, because when you run dry and you feel alone and you have no one to talk to besides your mom, and she's busy, she has her own problems, who do you have? You need to have your church family that can call you, that you can go to and say, hey, pray for me. I need help. My sister's in the hospital. My daughter's sick. Can you pray for me? It can't just be your mom and your dad and your kids. It's got to be the church community. God did not create you as a lone ranger. He created you as a human that needs other people besides just your mom and dad. So all those tips, I hope, have helped you. We don't have a lot of people here live, but I want to say hello to Nubia, excuse me, to Fred, excuse me, to Amanda, to Judy. Thank you guys for being here. I hope these tips can help you. Make sure that you share this video with your friends. As I've always said, the only way that Facebook gets the word out to people, and that's why we never have many people live here, is if you comment below. So if you actually say hello, good morning, then this video will go out to more people and more people will see it. But either way, thank you guys for being here, and I will see you next time. Adios!